you want to get leads into your email. Well, this is a video about how do you actually create a privacy policy for your lead campaign, because you need that. Otherwise, you won't be able to publish your ads. But after that, if you want your lead to come into your email, which is ideal, right? And everybody thought that this is something that is so simple. How come Facebook doesn't allow me to do that just in a very simplest way? Now, by default, Meta Ads lead sender is a very, actually quite robust system. So the easiest way for you to get your lead is through lead sender. You can actually, like come in and check on them, whether it's like hourly basis or whatever. So it's really on up to you to come in and check. But if you want things to come into your your email, I would totally recommend to use Zapier. So Zapier, it's actually an automation app where you can set up automation, but we do not recommend to just set up an email automation, which is simple if you want that. But it's a paid system that you need to pay about like $19.90, about $20 per month to use that, but it's totally powerful. So what we usually do with Zapier for lead gen is this. First, we will set up an automation to get the lead. Once you get a lead, as and when you get a lead, okay, it will send an email to you. That's for sure, right? Now, we do not just send email to you. We will actually automate to insert the information into a Google Sheet so that you can start tracking this. You can treat this as a simple mini CRM. If you do not have a CRM already, you can treat this as a mini CRM to actually, whether work with your team or for your own, tracking. You want to know whether this lead has turned into some different status, like whether it has become a phone call, a meeting, or it has become a sales. That's even better. So basically, you want to be able to track all these leads coming through. And second thing, after we get the email, and then we get into the Google Sheet, we will also usually automate it to insert the email into a email marketing system. I use Mailerlite. You can use anything because there are many email service providers out there. So I would recommend that because that will allow you to start an automation to start sending emails to this person. Because here's the thing. In order for lead gen to work, I always say that, you cannot just generate lead and do not know how to close the lead, because that's what happened to a lot of lead gen businesses when they're new in meta advertising. They thought that when I get the lead, they are supposed to be ready. I would say 80% of the leads that you capture on Meta are not ready. So you need to work on the 20% actionable leads. Now, when it comes to these 20% actionable leads, you'll be able to kind of like follow up and then. But having said that, a person come through doesn't mean that they are not interested. They may not be really keen right now. So I always recommend to have a multiple touch point warm-up system. It could be your phone number or whatever. So as and when a lead come in, I would always recommend my client to have at least 5 touch point plan. As in, like the first time, once the lead come through, right, you will probably call them, followed by a WhatsApp. 2 days later, you will probably want to call them again, followed by another WhatsApp, and call again, followed by another WhatsApp. That's what you do on the front end. But having said that, if you have an email marketing system in place, all these leads came through, they can be nurtured over time. Because especially, let's say, for example, if you are in, property, okay, I would say 95% of the property developers or property real estate, agents out there, when they do lead generation, they do not do lead nurturing. It's a waste. Why? Because these people, they come through, they're not ready to buy a house now. Doesn't mean that they won't be ready in 2 years down the road. But how many of you actually do something to nurture these people? Just imagine 2 years down the road, they keep on receive emails from you. You do not need to do this on a weekly basis, maybe once every 2 weeks. But you give them you give them information about the latest update, the latest project and all that. When they are ready, who will be the first person they will think of and contact? You will. So really, when it comes to lead gen, a lot of people think of it as a short-term game, but in fact, it's really a long-term game. So you really need to design a strategy to really build something different. But having said that, I would say totally use Zapier as an automation, start running ads. And basically, the next thing you probably want to look into is build the automation system and all that. If you need help, I can help you. But what I really recommend to do here is once you run the ad for at least 1 week or 7 days down the road, you want to start learning how to analyze it. That's really the most important thing. So if you are ready to analyze your campaign, I would recommend for you to sign up for this program. This is what we call the Meta Ads Review. So this is a 30 minutes one-on-one Zoom call where you and I are going to dive into your campaign. We're going to, first I'll teach you how to analyze your campaign. What are the metrics needed that you need to look into? And then after that, once we build that dashboard in your ads manager, I'll give it to you so that you can always come back to it. and we will analyze it together, and I will give you some ways to interpret the data and all that so that you understand and grasp it along the way, and I will build you a plan. As in, like, based on whatever that we have gathered in the last 7 days or 14 days or whatever, we have gotten some leads, but how can we improve? How can we take this to the next step? How can we improve this further? It's really something that we discuss in Meta Ads Review. So if that's something that you're looking for, scan this QR code, and I look forward to work with you.